Most guys think that confidence comes from motivation or just waiting for the right time, but truth is, confidence is something that you build, just like your body and your brand. As some of you may know, I went from being a skinny, invisible kid to building a physique that I'm proud of, from working with brands and who actually gets noticed. And today, I'm going to break down what actually worked physically, digitally, and mentally. But before we get into the video, if you're new here, my name is Jason. If you're watching me for the first time, I'd appreciate if you could drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe. Even for my existing subscribers, make sure to like and comment. Also, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to be as quick as possible, as well as giving you as much value as I can. So when I started, I was 16. I was a skinny, invisible kid who felt overlooked and was going unnoticed in life. I didn't like that feeling, so I went and changed it. Around that time, I thought training was just about looking good. I never realized the benefits that would have had on me mentally, and I also didn't know the opportunities that it would have given me in my future. Even outside of the sports that I was playing, for example, football, the gym is one of the first places that taught me about discipline from a young age. So here's how I built a sexy and attractive physique that gets me noticed by brands, by people online or in person, by women, yeah, or just by other guys that want to get into great shape. So to begin with, I make sure that I'm inside the gym 4 times a week resistance training. My current routine is a push, pull legs, and then on the 4th day, I do a full body session. Before it was a push, pull legs, but on the 4th day, it would be chest and back. Now, when it comes to picking your routine, you don't necessarily have to go with my same routine. I said last time, and I will always say this, but the best routine is the one that works for your goals and you're able to commit to for a long period of time. Pick something that works around your goals and your lifestyle. Now, you've probably heard about this phrase many times, but progressive overload. You're not going to get bigger or stronger or build a body that you're actually proud of unless you add progressive overload into your training. It's all about intensity. How hard are you training per session? Now, a common problem that a lot of people go through is that they go to the gym week in and week out without tracking anything. They don't know how many reps that they did the prior week. They don't know how much weight that they're able to move. They just don't know anything, and then they wonder why they're not putting on any muscle or getting stronger. So essentially, progressive overload is just making sure that your intensity of your training is increasing every single week. So you can do this by, for example, let's say I'm on the bench press, right? And I'm benching 50 kg, 3 sets of 10 on week 1. Week 2, I may do 4 sets of 10 or even 3 sets of 12, but you see how I've increased the volume from the week prior. Or you could also do it by, instead of doing 50 kg like you did on week 1, week 2 you'd probably go to 55 kg, and now you'll do 3 sets of 8 or maybe 3 sets of 10 also. Either way, you're either adding more volume or more weight the following week. All you're doing is adding new stimulus to the body, because the moment your body becomes adapted to something, it's not going to make any progress. This is why the people who make the slowest amount of progress inside the gym are the ones who don't train hard and are lifting the same amount of weight every single week. Unless you're training intensely, then you're not going to make any progress and you're just not going to get big. All right, moving on to dieting. Now, high protein, everyone knows that protein is essential, or if you don't know, you should know by now that protein is essential to muscle growth. So if you're not consuming enough protein, then that means that your body isn't getting the right amount of nutrients to build and repair the muscles that you're using when you're inside the gym. Now, ideally, you should be consuming around 2 grams of protein per body weight. So if you weigh, for example, 70 kg, then that means you should be eating about 140 grams of protein per day. But I usually recommend to my clients, or whenever I'm speaking to people who are new to the gym or just beginners, at least 1.5 to 2 grams. So if you can't get 2 grams per day, then at least 1.5. So again, if you weigh around 70 kg, then times that by 1.5, 105 grams of protein per day. And your meals don't have to be fancy. Just because you see the fancy meals on Instagram, that doesn't mean that's how you have to eat. If you have the time and the skills to make fancy meals, then please go ahead. But if you don't, then just keep it simple. Some chicken, put a bit of seasoning on that, some vegetables and rice, or some ground beef, some sweet potatoes with some veg and sauces, whatever you like. But it doesn't have to be all fancy, guys. Just keep it simple. Simplicity does work also. It's when you complicate stuff, that's when it gets a bit difficult. Lastly, another thing that's helped me with my physique is staying lean all year round. And I do this by keeping active, whether that's getting my steps in daily or just by running. But the more active you are, the easier it is to stay leaner. So I aim for about 10k steps daily. However, not every day is a good day, so no less than 5k minimum. And then I'm also running around 2, maybe 3 times per week on a very good week, as well as my conditioning sessions. So I'm keeping fairly active, and this helps me stay lean throughout the year, as well as watching what I'm eating. I'm not the type of person to constantly fill my body with junk food. So I'm not binge eating or eating all these highly processed snacks and processed foods. Now, that's not me saying I don't indulge in those type of stuff. Of course I do, but from time to time. It's all about moderation, guys. If you're just doing that all the time, then of course you're not going to look lean all year round. Now, without a doubt, building my body was the first step to become invisible, because whether you like it or not, people judge you based on how they see you. It's the same way when you hear guys saying if they see a guy who's in great shape, they assume that he's disciplined because he's able to commit to going to the gym, eating the correct diet, and just training hard for a long period of time. So it's just the same thing, whether that's with brands or with dealing with women. The way you look is how people are going to perceive you. So once my physique started to improve, this is when the eyeballs were rolling in. People were noticing me online or in person. And that's when I started thinking, if people are liking this, then why not build something from this? So that's exactly what I did. I started posting consistently, even though I was a bit self-conscious and I used to find it cringe, but I was still posting consistently because I knew it was something that I wanted to do. Like, I was doing everything, guys, from sharing my journey. So from going from skinny to building a muscular physique, from using content pillars. So every day I had something to talk about. For example, maybe day one, I would post a motivational style content. Day two, I would post a value-based style content. You know, I always had something to talk about. And because I built an online presence, this is why brands were reaching out to me. And yes, of course, I also reached out to brands as well. And because I had an online presence, when I did reach out to them, they liked what they saw and was able to work together. And it's not about begging for sponsorships or partnerships, but once you build a certain amount of visibility, it creates opportunities for you and for the brand. With all that being said, people would think that this transformation was just about physicality, but it was actually more mental than it was physical. Because you have to remember, it all starts here. The moment you change here, this is when your whole life, your body, the way you see life, everything around you starts to change. So here's what really changed for me. I stopped seeing myself as just the skinny guy. I had to see myself as someone who wanted to build a better life, as someone who wanted to get stronger for myself and just for the people around me. And also, my main motivation, or one of them, was being a strong father for my kids. You know, so you had to stop seeing yourself as just that skinny guy. Think of it as an identity shift. I then had to build the discipline because motivation wasn't there all the time. We all know motivation is just a feeling, but discipline is a routine. So on the days when you're not feeling motivated to go to the gym or stick to your diet or get your steps in, this is when discipline comes into play. Because it's now a routine, you do it regardless of how you feel. And then this one was also hard, but you have to minimize the negative talk. And this is coming from someone who is constantly battling with limiting beliefs, but cut the negative talk as much as you can. If you could do it completely, then do so, but just try and minimize it and catch yourself out. When you see yourself thinking negatively, try and switch it as fast as you can. Get those positive thoughts back into your mind as fast as you can. So yeah, when you fix your mindset, the habits and the routine, the discipline all follows. This is where the real confidence gets built. Confidence doesn't come from just saying affirmations or just by waiting for the right moment or waiting to be motivated. Confidence comes from doing things. It comes from taking action. So when you become more disciplined in life, this is when the confidence comes. So to summarize, when I built my physique, it built my confidence. And when I built my confidence, it built my brand. And then when I built my brand, opportunities came to me. And so many men stay invisible because they have a weak presence, a weak body, and a weak mindset. And this is the exact reason I now coach men to transform these 3 pillars. So if you're going through life and you're tired of being invisible, you're tired of being skinny, having a physique that's unattractive, you're tired of people overlooking you, you're tired of not getting any opportunities, then you need to change that. Something needs to change. You need to build something that gets you noticed, whether that's online or in person. You need to build a body that you're proud of. You need to fix your mindset. You need to change it all. You just need to transform yourself. And I share all of this on my channel. Or if you need further advice, then please DM me and I'll be happy to help you guys. But something needs to change. You can't be going through life being invisible. It's now time to become more visible. As always, it was nice talking to you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.